Ms. Subathra Mylsamy, Managing Partner of A.K.Mylsamy and Associates, specializing in corporate law, intellectual property rights, cyber tech, artificial intelligence, privacy laws. Subathra is skilled in international law, legal assistance, legal research, and legal writing. Subathra has done her Master of Laws, LLM, focused in international business law from the University of Manchester.
What is this IP? Innovation, creativity is very, very important. If you're coming up with an idea, if you're coming up patents, trademarks, industrial designs. McDonald's is that inverted golden M, Nike the tick. And this brand is very, very important to build their business ahead. Kadala Mittai we say. Kadala Mittai is very common. Palani Panjamridam. But before you register, it is also required for you to understand why IP is important. What is this IP? Intellectual property rights, we listen to it every day, everywhere. Innovation, creativity is very, very important no matter what size your industry is. If you're coming up with an idea, if you're coming up with a product, if you're coming up with a process. And also for medium enterprise, if you see it's not more than 50 crores and also not more than, the threshold would be not more than 250 crores. Now, mostly our SMEs, as you all know, is classified into types like manufacturing, services, trading, retail, food and beverage. This is for a basic understanding. I'm sure all of you all know that. Intellectual property rights are a division of rights which is classified by our law as for patents, trademarks, industrial designs, copyright, geographical indication. So these are the basic branches under law where you can seek your protection depending upon your services or your products. So what is patents? So most of the industries which here today who are sitting will fall under the patent aspect, either for a process or for an invention of a product. And please understand, it is a territorial right, which means if you file for your patents in India, it is valid for India alone. But there are certain options where you can do international filing of patents, which is called as PCT filings. We have heard several brands. Right here, sir, sitting here, Rolls-Royce. This is a brand which is heard all over the world. And this brand is very, very important to build their business ahead. It is nothing but it's a sign in the form of any kind of words or symbols. McDonald's is that inverted golden M, Nike the tick, Coca-Cola, the bottle, the labeling, the color. To this extent, you can file for your trademarks and protect your marks or your logos and for your trademark before you move forward. Please don't push this back and say, I will do this later when my business picks. No. By then, somebody else will start to use your mark and you have to prove a lot more when you go in for that registrations. Industrial designs. We are all in the concept of industries. We are all manufacturing something. Now, this will not be mostly used for your, but still, it is an expression of any kind of idea or sometimes even the process or any books. In fact, in the field of music or art, if you are into any of these, you can use the copyrights to protect your art, your architecture to a large extent. In fact, computer software programs can be protected using the copyright. We hail from a particular place, if it is, say, Coimbatore, and Coimbatore has got something which is very, very original. It is only coming from this soil or from here and nowhere else. It's called as geographical indication. For example, Kadala Mittai we say. Kadala Mittai is very common. We say Kadala Mittai comes from a particular origin or from particular place we say it, and that origin gets a GI tag in show. It's called as geographical indication tag. So all these things, Palani Panjamridam has GI tag. Palanila, where it is made, that Punjab rhythm has a GI tag, and today it is used all over the world. Even if the temple is sending it across, it gives us the authenticity. So when we start to use IP or when we protect and start registering IP, it helps for your business growth, it helps for your brand building right from the beginning. So it is essential that you register your IP way in the beginning, but before you register, it is also required for you to understand under which area you need to make your registration. Patents. It is an exclusive territorial right for a particular invention or a process. Whatever we invent doesn't mean it will fall into, I've invented something new. For you and me, it may be new, but there is already somebody who has done it. It's already in the market. Unless there are certain clauses where you have to tick and see whether it falls under innovation, it is really new. Sometimes even a combinations can be new, and if you invent it, then that also falls under patent. Once you file a patent, there are a lot of benefits. Tax benefits are there for a lot of companies. In fact, government gives you a lot of, almost about 10% there is tax reductions. Once you file your patents, you have high return on investments. Because any company, once they know you have a patent protection, they are very safe. Like Sir clearly said, nobody does an infringement and an IP is protected. Your invention, your idea or your product is protected once you go out in the market, and you can scale it up. More and more people outside the country will come to make business with you because they know it is safeguarded. There's a brand which you're creating once you start to do this. It gives you an advantage over your business as well. More than anything, it encourages a lot of collaborative partnerships from a lot of other companies as well. You co-create things. This helps it to a large extent, and also it gives you a legal protection. Infringements cannot be done. Today, with the development of so much of technology, 3D printing has come into being. With 3D printing, there are a lot of infringements which are happening because for already patented products, people are also printing something and there is infringement happening. So we are still, the law is very, very dynamic on these aspects of patents, which we are still working on, with WIPO is also working on. So there is a lot more we have to go. But before we dive into all these things, it is essential at least for us to have a basic protections in place. Now there are also a lot of government initiatives, a lot of schemes for startups and MSMEs are given, especially 80% reductions on patent filing. Please, there is a myth where everybody says IP filing is expensive. IP filing is not expensive if you are an MSME, if you have registered as an MSME, or if you have registered as a startup. You have government schemes and grants which you could very well use, right? And there is also 10% reductions on filing of any kind of online fee reductions are also there. You have the credit guarantee fund schemes also for MSMEs which are present. The Udayam registration is also very, very important for MSMEs because you have subsidized interest, you have a lot of discounts on intellectual property registrations, tax exemptions, concessions and water, and in fact also on your electricity bills. Now I just wanted to scale through or run through the trends in the patents over the few years, how we have increased. You know, we have about 24.64% of filing of patents compared to the previous year. We have increased so much. And the domestic filing of patent applications is gone from 52.29% of total filing as compared to 44.41 from 2021 to 2022. So please understand, more and more companies, small scale MSMEs, SMEs are registering for patents today. And remember, Tamil Nadu occupies the first position with 7,686 applications for patents. This requires a big round of applause because, sir, I must tell you, we are constantly competing with the North because you know how the North is propelling with the IP as well. So we are constantly competing, and we have got one of the largest filings for patent applications. And the applications also filed by the startups and small entities also portray a very great upward trend. Now, I wanted to explain to you all the basics of trademark. Like I said, it is nothing but acquired and distinctive signs or your own logos, your own brand identity. With filing of trademarks, please understand you're also building a lot of brand awareness and brand building for your own business. You have to showcase yourself in this market that you're unique, You are different. And when you build your brand, there is a goodwill which you're creating. Over the time, people will start to also recognize a particular logo, a symbol. So it is utmost important. So that's what is goodwill and brand value creations. It's a long-term investment. So please don't think that today, oh my God, the expenditure. It is an investment for you. IP is something which multiplies as your business multiplies. Your turnover, your money is important, but your most valuable asset is your IP. And IP has its own audit and valuations which are done when you want to sell your company or merge your company as well. It is all to do today with the brand, right? And global registrations of your trademarks can also be done. It's at most important. You also have an advantage once you register your logos, nobody can infringe. Today, if you look into, for small example, I would say one of the small cases which we heard quite often is, I don't know how many of you would have heard about there was an Amazon case where two ladies who were selling something on the Amazon, in fact, a small bakery product, fought against Amazon for infringement of their trademarks. They won the case in Indian court. So that is the power of registration infringement today. You need to stand for your own brand and for yourself. You need to also voice it out and not back out. So legal protection is very, very important when it comes with registrations and infringements. And please feel strong to voice out when somebody is infringing, even if it is a bigger brand, bigger conglomerate, bigger corporates. Because today, white labeling of agreements is something which is come into being. White labeling is nothing but huge manufacturing companies or any company, corporates, look at to startups who are doing great jobs and say, you cannot put your names. You have to only, you can sell the product to us, but we will not be asking you to put your name, which means your innovation, your creation is being shadowed by a bigger person. A lot of startups come to us and say, ma'am, we have this aspect they are asking, but they are asking us to give it to them without any reference or any identity which has been given to us. We have been scaling our business for 10 years, but now we have to do this. So there is always this confusion. Do I need the money or do I have to protect? So you have to understand, even as a small businesses, please stand for your brand, for your value. Do not give up your identity because you are signing up with anybody else who is bigger than you. It's especially important that you stand for yourself. Please negotiate well. Please get to counsels who are able to guide you on the right direction as well. And it is an intangible asset. It's extremely important to understand, like every other asset you're creating for your business, IP is also an intangible asset and it is extremely valuable. And here again, you have a lot of initiatives from the government. You have reduction on trademark filing fees for startups and MSMEs. It is almost 50% reductions. 10% again, you have reductions on online filing, and a lot of schemes on Udayam registrations are there. And women entrepreneurs, I must tell you, if you're starting your own business or you have someone who's into this business, there is a lot more initiative and lot more options given for women who are running business today. Brand protection and trademarks and trends in trademarks. If you see there, I put a picture of all the famous trademarks which everybody will be able to identify. There's no names, but it is only logos and symbols and colors. That is the power of trademarks. When you start to use after a point of time, you don't need names. It is just logos. Today, RR will say that it is Rolls-Royce. So today, if you see the WW, it's Volkswagen. Today, if you see Mercedes-Benz, you know Mercedes-Benz. You know Honda. You know anything from the symbol, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. That is a power of logo and brand building which is being done over years together. It is not today, tomorrow. Consistency, as Sir said, is very important, even on your brand building and carrying forward your business and protecting the brand. So if you see, there would be a dip in the trademark, in fact, in 22-23, because it was also because of the shortage of manpower in our own intellectual property boards. We did undergo a little bit downside, I would say, but after that, I think we have been picking up to a large extent on our trademark filings as well. Now, coming to the most important aspect for this evening is the industrial designs on manufacturing. It's the protection which is given to you for any kind of aesthetic, ornamental features of your product. Anything which is new. Novelty is something which you're bringing new. It should be original. It should be configuration of something. It can be patterns, compositions of lines or colors. It is extremely important that you understand in which bracket you have to protect or register for your IP, right? It gives you an extended validity. Industrial designs especially, it is for, if you register is for a period of 10 years, there can be an extension period of 5 years or 3 years as well, which is given. So it is extremely important that you take care of this, and you also have high return on your investments when you have an industrial design protection, because today you can license it, you can franchise it, there are agreements which are done, you can cooperate and collaborate, in fact, with technology, with other people. When you have these protections for you, you will scale up your business 10 times, 50 times, and to the outside country, you showcase that you're extremely professional. You also showcase that you're very strong on your brand building and what kind of organization or a brand which you're trying and scaling up when you have these protections in place. And of course, it also promotes to a large extent fair market competition. When we have these protections, you compete with each other. You say, yeah, this is like the herd mentality. Somebody is done. Herd mentality is not what the Westerns do, we also do. It is also some good concepts of herd mentality also has to be there. When your friends are competing and registering their IPs, it is time for you also to register your IPs on time. You cannot delay your IP filings at any cost and say you will do it later on. And please understand, Tamil Nadu took 3rd position with respect to the highest number of design applications which have been filed this time. Copyrights. What are these copyrights? These are nothing but exclusive rights which protect the expression of ideas, artistic work. If somebody is into art, photography, protections, process, computer processing, codes, copyrights is being used. It also creates a lot of goodwill and brand value for your own business or products which you are. It helps you to also do a lot of licensing. In fact, people who are into the sector of music, art, performance, theater, it helps them to also do a lot of licensing. In fact, Ilayaraja keeps sending out notices to a lot of people. I'm sure you have read on newspapers for his music or songs which are being used by him without his permission. Why? Because without his concurrence, somebody is using it. So the licensing aspect, agreement aspect comes into play, where you make royalty or you collect money for the work which you have done, right? And it also gives you a sense of ownership, and it also gives you a sense of lot of legal protections. And if you see into the trends of copyright applications, you will see there has been a drastic increase in the total disposal of copyright applications for 2022 and 23 as well. Like I told you, what is this GI? It is from one particular place where an origin of a product comes from being. For Dindigul is famous for what? Everybody knows Pootu. Dindigul Pootu has a GI tag. Today, anybody who uses, you can become an authorized user. If you're using Dindigul Pootu to manufacturing and you're sending across, if you become an authorized user using a GI tag, your value of your product multiplies. The commercial value when you're selling across the globe multiplies. 2 weeks back, the World Intellectual Property Organization, which is the most important organization on the intellectual property rights and protection, has come up with a new treaty which is called as the genetic knowledge as well as the traditional knowledge, where they combine both, and a treaty has been signed where hereafterwards, if any manufacturing unit or any company or anyone, if they are selling a product or patenting a process using a product from a particular origin, they have to disclose. For example, there was a fight between turmeric, manjal. Erode manjal, in fact, has GI tag. Erode manjal is used by a lot of people here who are manufacturing. When they use the GI tag, the commercial value increases, not many use it, because you have to become an authorized user or an authorized agent. That application is just 10 rupees, but the awareness is not there for people to take it and use it. So turmeric was a dilemma where US said we found turmeric, we are the first. US fought for neem. They fought for neem, they fought for basmati, saying this is all our product, but we have been using it from age old. Same way, there are a lot of Ayurvedic treatments which we have been doing, which we have been manufacturing. Traditional knowledge. Nama Pati Vaidyam, Tata Vaidyam has been done. Today, all these things is a must that we have, it is being protected today. If somebody is using this, they have to disclose and give where the product is coming from, and they have to give credit to the origin. So once you do that, it enhances the reputation of the goods. In fact, silk, Kanjivaram is very famous for that. That also helps. In the manufacturing sector, a lot of people use products from different places which is authentic. This shows the authenticity. It is coming from one particular place and nowhere else it has been produced. So that helps us into a large extent, where you have a lot of legal protections are given once you have a GI to yourself. It also helps cluster development, and what we say is one district, one voice was a new thing which our government was promoting. And go local is something which we were promoting as well, where we promote our own original products from our own country, from our own places to a large extent. That is the use of GI. And if you see, there is just the last 5-year trends of IP filings, which I've told you. So there has been a great increase of 5.94% of filing applications compared from 2021 to 2022 on the whole, on the entire layout of everything. In fact, on the semiconductor integrated layout designs also, there has been a drastic increase. Today we are all talking about semiconductors, we are talking about SDGs, we are talking about sustainable goal developments, which has been launched by the United Nations organizations, which is also extensively working on intellectual property rights. Now, we also have some kind of international studies for IP to push IP in, especially for SMEs. So there is a joint project which is called as EPO and EUIPO, which is the European Observatory on Infringements of IP, where high growth of firms on IPR is being vouched for. And here, if you see, SMEs with at least one IPR are at 21% likely to propel and grow, and 10% more likely to become an HGF. So this is very, very, very important. And if you see, there is also the scoreboard, which is, I have clearly explained to you. These are some of the international rankings on the Global Innovation Index, which is being projected. And these are various schemes, and MSME is where it is driving India into $5 trillion economy dollar. You can see the power of MSME today. These are sustainability in SMEs, what we do with solar energy, how we can develop it more and more, and renewable energy, and some of the challenges, and how we can work ahead. So with this, I would like to thank all of you, and thank you once again for giving me this opportunity.